Hi everyone, and welcome to Erik's Electronics Workbench. So this video has a slightly different format because I was repairing this project alongside some other projects and didn't video this one as I worked through it. So this is a summary of the troubleshooting and repairs I made. So in recent weeks, I picked up this HP 5255A 3 to 12.4 GHz frequency converter plugin, which extends the frequency range of the HP 5245L well into microwave territory. Impressive for a frequency counter introduced in 1963. So the plugin was in unknown working condition and appeared complete with no obvious signs of damage. With some initial testing, I found both the main RF input and prescaler 1 to 200 MHz input wouldn't measure properly. The main input would cause the 5245L frequency counter to display random numbers and had a weak indication on the level meter. The prescaler input only seemed to work above about 100 MHz. By the way, the tag on the plugin shows a previous owner was USA ETL. This is United States Army Engineer Topographic Laboratories. So if you follow the projects on my channel, the inside of the 5255A may look somewhat familiar. And that's because it has a number of identical circuits as the 5258A sensitive prescaler plugin I repaired a while back. The card slots have the same cast aluminum housing for both plugins, but the 5258A has only 4 slots populated. The video amplifiers are nearly identical as well. In fact, this 5255A can perform the same prescaler function on an external 1 to 200 MHz signal as the 5258A. Also, some of the features of the 5258A, for example, zeroing the display for readings above 212 MHz, now makes sense as to why they were part of the design, as those same features are used with more purpose in this plugin, or basically just left in place for the 5258A. So the knowledge I gained on that 5258A plugin repair came in very handy for this plugin. So I started the troubleshooting with the block diagram. There are 2 inputs, the main RF signal to be measured and the prescaler input. I noticed that the prescaler input only worked above about 100 MHz, so that needed to be repaired first. If the prescaler doesn't work, then the main RF input can't be measured either because the heterodyne converter is mixing the input signal with a harmonic of 200 MHz. The mixer output will be something between 1 and 200 MHz, which the prescaler must divide by 4, so it remains in the measurement range of the 5245L. Now the harmonic spectrum is created by a step recovery diode in the tunable cavity. The cavity is tuned to pick out a single harmonic of 200 MHz between 3 and 12.4 GHz in 200 MHz steps. The measured frequency is the dial indication plus the frequency counter display. Since the prescaler takes 1 to 200 MHz and divides it by 4, a ×4 gate time extender is used, which causes the 5245L to give a direct reading, not the divide by 4 reading. So I started testing the circuit card A8, the prescaler. If this circuit board looks familiar, it is. It's one of the identical circuit cards as used in the 5258A. In the previous 5258A repair, this prescaler was not easy to service. Among other things, it's super sensitive to shielding and doesn't work well on a circuit card extender, all making troubleshooting tricky. So again, the problem here is that it only works above about 100 MHz. Perhaps a bit odd, as you'd think amplifiers and flip-flops would be more apt to work at lower frequencies. But at lower frequencies, I found the signal at the base of Q4 was almost non-existent. So basically, the first flip-flop, Q7 and Q8, was not being driven properly at low frequencies and was not flipping or flopping as it should. Also, the signal at collector of Q1 seemed low, falling to near 0 below 20 MHz. So I replaced Q1, which is an HP 1854-0323, which crosses over to a 2N2857. So the original transistor tested okay, except the HFE was low at 30, which is right at the lower HFE limit. The new transistor HFE was 112, which is right in the expected range. So now the prescaler worked from about 50 MHz and higher. So an improvement, but something else was still wrong. Then I found the readings around Q3 were low at lower frequencies, but improved at higher frequencies. I didn't have a replacement for Q3, which is an HP 1854-0019. But I thought, what if I swap it with Q6, another 1854-0019? The prescaler might not entirely work, but if things look good around Q3, then it confirms that that transistor was a problem. Well, a complete surprise. The prescaler came to life and worked perfectly after swapping Q3 and Q6. So I suspect that Q6 is a less critical use of the transistor than in the position of Q3. So Q3 and Q6 both tested okay on my transistor tester, although the gain of Q6 was a bit higher. Since the prescaler now works, I'm leaving components as they are. By the way, notice that this prescaler does not have capacitor C11 installed, which is a 20 picofarad. On my previous prescaler repair, C11 was installed, and removing it made the prescaler stop working below about 20 megahertz. The service manual for that 5258A had a handwritten note about C11 not being needed. Also, on this prescaler, inductor L1 is much shorter piece of wire than on the other prescaler. So it seems these prescalers are quite picky about components, requiring some fine-tuning with a few values even noted as being selected at the factory, and a bit of analog circuit wizardry mixed in. Now that the 1 to 200 megahertz prescaler input was working, I tested the main RF input. The counter gave a very unstable and random display, and the signal level meter on the plug-in indicated very low, even with a 0 dBm input at any measurable frequency. So actually, not much different than before the prescaler was repaired. So now I was worried a mixer diode might be damaged or a problem with the input attenuator, or possibly the step recovery diode had a problem. If the harmonics are weak in amplitude, the mixer won't work properly and could produce the symptoms I was seeing. Then I realized there's a simple test of the step recovery diode in assembly A5. Just check for a -5 to -12 volts DC at test point number 1 in A5. So I decided to do this next. Well, it measured -2 volts DC bias, and then testing with the oscilloscope showed a very low level 200 megahertz signal at test point 1. So it looked like the trouble with the 200 megahertz generator or step recovery diode problem. However, there's a matching circuit with two variable capacitors and an adjustable inductor in A5. The service manual explains how to peak this matching network. So I tried this peaking adjustment, and the 200 megahertz signal amplitude improved drastically. Now the bias sat at -6 volts DC, which is within the normal range. So I wonder if someone had tried to peak the A5 harmonic generator matching network, not realizing the prescaler was the original problem. So I tested the main RF input, and success! Now the plug-in is working extremely well. Right, so the frequency counter's display is 123,400 kilocycles, or in modern terminology, kilohertz. And that's the same thing as 123.4 megahertz. Now the dial is sitting right at 5 gigahertz, and there's a red tick mark right at the 5, but I don't know that it shows up all that well on camera. So the way that you take the reading is that you add the dial to the frequency counter display, so 5 gigahertz plus 123.4 megahertz. Well, that's the same thing as 5.1234 gigahertz, and that's exactly what my RF signal generator is set to. So it's correctly measuring the RF input. And lots of signal indication on the meter, way over into the green scale. Now this is sitting at 0 dBm for the input. You can go to a maximum of plus 10 dBm. Now this should be sensitive down to -7 dBm. That's a specification, but it should probably go lower than that. So HP is pretty conservative on the ratings. So I'll start to decrease this. There's -7 dBm. Looks good, no problems there. 10 dBm. Okay, now it's starting to drop down on the meter. That's -12, -13, -14. Still a stable display, no problems. -15. And now we're starting to lose the accuracy. And there's some loss in this coax cable as well. So it's very, very sensitive on the input, easily meets the specification, plus a nice, wide margin as well. So looks good, no problems with that. Go back up here to 0 dBm. So back to the original settings again. So if I just tune this below this harmonic, again, this is very easy to tune. You can see there's a very fine gear reduction in here as I turn the knob, how slowly the dial turns. But when you tune this, you just come up to the first harmonic, right there. So you see how this meter comes up and peaks very quickly. Right there. So it's just that simple to tune to that harmonic. And again, there's a tick mark in the little, there's like little slots or windows for each of the harmonics and 200 megahertz steps. And it's right in the 5 window right there. So very simple to tune. You're not, in here dialing back and forth like this, trying to get an adjustment. It's just where this peaks, that's all you have to do. So very, very easy to use. So now let's try this prescaler input, so 1 to 200 megahertz. So turn the RF off. I'm just going to go over here, frequency 1 megahertz. Over here. So you can use one or the other input, but of course not both at the same time. And when you're using this input, then this dial has no purpose. So this is a direct reading. Whatever this frequency is displayed directly over here. So I'll turn this back on again. So 1 megahertz at 0 dBm. RF is on. Perfect. So 1,000 kilocycles or kilohertz is the same thing as 1 megahertz. Turn this over like that. Now it's in, well, it says megacycles, but megahertz, the same thing. Right there is very accurate. And again, this was not working on these low frequencies originally. The meter does show the signal strength, and it's all the way over. So that looks good. And then if I increase this, I'll just go up frequency, go 10 megahertz, jump up some steps here. So that looks good at 10, frequency 100 megahertz. Perfect, no problems there. Frequency 200, which is all the way to the top. Excellent, looks very good. Now if I go to 212 megahertz, I think, yes, it still works, that's good. But above 212 by a little bit, it should blank the display and just go to 0. So if I go over here, step this over, 213, 15, 16, and there it goes. So at 217 megahertz, then it just blanks the display. And that's so that you don't get erroneous readings when you're using this harmonic generator and the settings on this. So it was intended to blank that out. And again, on the other plugin, had that feature in blanking out that frequency, and it seemed a little bit unusual. Why would they do that? But it makes sense on this plugin why that feature was included. Back frequency 200 megahertz. There we go. So very happy how this 5255A plugin turned out. It's really cool to have a plugin that extends all the way up to 12 gigahertz. And again, pretty impressive back in the day when this frequency counter was manufactured and this plugin was introduced. It was really pushing the limits to have a frequency counter that could go up to this high of a microwave range and frequencies. All right, so I hope you enjoyed following along and seeing how I did the repair and the troubleshooting on this plugin. And if you did, well, you can let me know by giving the video a thumbs up. And if you're enjoying the content on this channel, don't forget to subscribe because there'll be many more videos coming up in the near future. Lots of projects in the queue and you won't want to miss any of those. And I've actually picked up some more plugins and I'll be going through those as well. So I have several more to check out. A very rare plugin for this 5245L, and I think you'll enjoy seeing that plugin and some of the calibrations and possible repairs that'll need to be done on that. So that'll be coming up in the future. All right, so as always, thank you for taking time to watch, and until next time, take care. Goodbye for now.